Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the So Optimal Cooking Show. My name is Chef Tig, also known as Noah. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you? Hope everybody's doing well. Dale Dean, good to see you. Rosaliz, good to see you. Old Man Jack, what's going on? Hopefully you're having a good day at your job, Family Jack. Old Man Jack, good to see you, buddy. Today, guys, we're going to do some bread pudding, which is going to use a bunch of eggs. Because we're using so many eggs in the bread pudding, let's take some of that challah we made on Friday and thank you for gifting a sub to Old Man Jack, my love. We're going to take some of that challah and we're going to make some French toast out of it, but we're going to make that French toast eggless. We're going to do... I have a rotisserie chicken that's been sitting in the fridge. We're going to turn that into a rotisserie chicken soup that we're going to turn into like a kitchen sink kind of deal. We're going to grab any vegetables we got in the fridge, get them in there. Get Cream Delish, welcome in. Good to see you. And I'm forgetting something. What am I forgetting? Oh, we're going to do some kicked up mac and cheese. We're going to take some boxed mac and cheese. We're going to make it a little bit better, a little bit nicer, and a lot more tasty, in my opinion. Where's the spicy baby? Spicy baby, what are you doing? We have a, if you guys hear a lot of meowing today, I do apologize. Our littlest cat is having feminine issues. She needs to get spayed. We're supposed to go in tomorrow for a spay, but is in heat, so she's been making a lot of noise. So if you hear a lot of meowing today, that's why. I do apologize. Hello, my love. What do you want? Go upstairs. Go see mommy. Go on, go see mommy. Good girl. Go. Upstairs. Go lay down. Cora, go lay down. Okay. My kitchen is so colorful today. It is! My kitchen is very colorful today. Today we're also going to talk about tea. I love teas, and I love having tea as an alternative for coffee. Caffeine-wise, I'm going to put your product in it. I don't know what your product is, but that's interesting, Cream Delish. We're going to talk about two different brands of tea today. No sponsorships or anything, just two different teas that I like and Joyful Noise likes. I'm going to make my drink for today is going to be a nice chai tea. Chai means tea, but Indian style chai. This is the Harney and Sons chai tea. Harney and Sons makes some great different teas. They make some of our favorites. This is their chai, which to me the smell is absolutely identical to the Indian restaurant I go to, that I love going to. So this is exactly like that, and and the flavor is dead on what I get in the restaurant, so that's been a favorite. These two are both cinnamon spice tea, which is like a what do you call them? Cinnamon Red Hots, like cinnamon Red Hots or Fireballs. If you like Fireballs, it smells just like that. It's a wonderful tea with some honey. These are some of our favorites. Some alternatives as well is Yorkshire tea. Yorkshire tea is a little bit more expensive. It is about $7 to $10 a box, but these boxes will last us 6 months at a time. We don't drink a lot of it at once. But these are some of Joy's favorite teas. In the UK, if it's not, their advertising says if it's not Yorkshire tea, it's muddy water. So that's kind of fun. We have our a toast and jam tea here, a biscuit brew, and then just a bedtime brew, which is decaffeinated, which is great to just relax to. Some great teas this morning, guys. This is just showing off some of our variety. Let's get started on the stove. Oh, let's show off some end results as well. I've cut it in half, but guys, I didn't get a chance to post the pictures yet. I did take pictures to post on the Discord, but here's half of our challah from last week. It came out really, really nicely. Beautiful crumb. And our challah rolls. These came out a little bit lighter in texture than I was expecting. I'm not quite sure. Maybe they didn't proof. I didn't let them proof long enough. You can see a little bit of like a hole in there. But these came out really nicely. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to show them off at the end of the stream because we just didn't have enough time. Bread doughs take quite a bit of time. Let's get started on our tea. So for this tea, I don't use any water. So that I see last minute, you asked you 3 months, nice. I don't use any water in my chai, guys. I use straight milk. Straight, for me, lactose-free milk. And we're gonna open up a fresh thing of milk here, and I'm going to just pour in a whole bunch of milk. We're gonna get this going. And I don't preheat this. I take, yeah. One of the advantages of the lactose-free milk, actually, Kitty, is that while it's a little more expensive, this stuff lasts for months. This is still good for another month right now. So we're gonna take out, I think we're gonna do, let's make it a strong one. We're gonna use about 5 tea bags here. These are silk tea bags. I don't know if they're actually silk or they're like nylon, but they call them silk bags. So they're very fine. They're a very fine mesh. We're gonna take our scissors here, and I'm gonna clip the strings off of these just to make them a little bit easier to get in there. Because I'll be fishing them out later. And you can use loose leaf tea, guys. You can use paper bag tea. You know, don't let anybody shame you for what you like. Honestly, I know there are people out there that'll say, "Oh, you can only loose leaf tea is good, or only flowering tea is good." Man, if you like it, enjoy it. That's just one of the rules of life these days. Don't let anybody take your pleasure away. So, take those out. Head over to the stove. You'll notice I've shifted the stove cam and the prep cam a little bit, guys. I did swap those cameras because one of them angles a little bit better. Get this on the back burner. Get this on a medium-low heat. And I'll take it up to a full medium. And get it on the burner. Going. So we're going to be making some bread pudding today, guys. Bread pudding is a form of custard. Yeah, seasoned to your taste only works for more than just food. That is absolutely true. I'm going to clean this up just real quick, guys. And so our bread pudding today, guys, I have some leftover croissants that I buy at Costco for about $5.50, $6 for a package of 12. My kid loves them, loves eating them. I love them, but they tend to go to waste because we get so many in a go. And they're really good. They're butter croissants. They're all butter. $7. They've gone up $1. All butter croissants right here. And we're gonna break these down and turn these into bread pudding, along with some of the challah roll, I think, to give it a little bit slightly texture. What else do we want to throw in here today? Do I have any raisins or dried fruit left? 8. Let's make a date bread pudding. Life easy. We're gonna throw a few dates in here for some sweetness and taste. So we're gonna make a nice date bread pudding. Should we make it a Nutella bread pudding? What do you guys think? Should I make a date bread pudding or should I make a Nutella bread pudding, guys? Give me some opinions here. Give me some options. Let you guys influence the stream a little bit. Nutella. Katie says Nutella. Go ahead and just, you know, if you're watching, just throw your opinion out there. Make some Nutella bread pudding. We can make some Nutella bread pudding. Yeah, let's make a Nutella bread pudding. Sure, why not? I'm gonna eat a date. I love dates. These are Eggless Noor dates. These are a little bit paler than some other dates that are out there. These are already pitted. Right about the Nutella. Costco, get 2 of these for about $7-8. Great. Okay. We'll put our challah loaf to the side here. Now, bread pudding. Bread pudding is a form of baked custard. For your custard base, it is a simple ratio of, by volume, 2 parts milk to 1 part eggs. Again, we're in a time of expensive eggs. This is going to be a slightly pricier recipe. I understand that. Hopefully the price of eggs goes down soon as it recovers. It'll be good. I mean, custards are wonderful. We're going to preheat our oven to about 350 right now. And we're gonna start breaking down our bread and custard. So let's grab a nice big bowl here. My bowl is... What happened? Oh, my pan fell. It's alright. My bowl is a little suboptimal right now. I'm gonna give it a quick wash. Alrighty. Madly, what's going on, my friend? How are you feeling? Alright. So. Yes. Yeah, I didn't realize that there were some fires in Texas that were affecting things, but we're going to take our bread knife and we're just going to break our bread down into just some nice chunks, guys. Just slice it down the line. And then we're going to turn this and make strips or cubes, whatever suits your fancy. Just with all your breads, you want to have them about the same size. Stale bread works best for bread pudding. Sorry to hear that, Madly. The interesting thing is that with the price of beef being high, it gives us a lot of opportunity to kind of focus on other meats. And the price of lamb is still kind of reasonable. So we've been doing a lot with like ground lamb recently, and I think we're going to pick some up today. It runs about $5 a pound at my local Aldi, so it's still fair. It's a little pricey, but more reasonable than beef is right now. So it's a delicious protein, lamb. I love the flavor of it. It's not for everybody. I totally understand that. We'll be seeing some of that on Wednesday. I think maybe make a nice lamb meatloaf, lamb and turkey meatloaf. Turkey is another one that you can, if it hasn't been affected by the bird flu, another good one. So that's 2 challah rolls in there for some denser texture. Yeah, with the pasta truck you have to buy beef. I understand that. And again, we're just slicing these down. I mean, eggs are one of those things that, you know, they're unfortunately still one of the best sources of protein you can get. They do luckily reproduce faster. I also highly recommend, there's been a movement of a lot of the big egg producers are a lot of the big producer eggs are being the ones being affected by this bird flu. Smaller, more local producers are not as much. So go ahead and check your local. If you can check your local markets, their egg prices for the local markets may be cheaper than some of the big producers. We found that actually because our Whole Foods near us, or was it Whole Foods or Hen House, my love, that you got those eggs at? She may be in a meeting right now, so. You had ground beef, you had lamb for the first time a week ago. Brother bought it and mixed it with his usual ground beef. It was good. Good. I love lamb. Lamb is one of my favorite things in the world. It is classified as a gamey-er meat, not really a gamey meat. It is, it does have some more flavor to it than beef does. Not that beef has a bad flavor, it just has a slightly different flavor for lamb. We got about a good amount of bread here already. We're gonna make a fairly decent sized bread pudding. Go ahead and make a really big one. If we need to split it up, we'll split it up. ASMR bread slicing for you all. I love bread pudding. I really love bread pudding. It's one of those dishes I've been having a lot. New Orleans really likes bread pudding with like a bourbon sauce. Maybe we'll make a quick bourbon sauce to go with that. We'll see. We'll see what kind of time we have today, guys. We gotta keep things moving, of course. Dried egg for your pasta. Interesting. How well does that work, Cream Delicious? I'm actually interested. I'm honestly curious how well that works. We got our nice big bowl of bread here. I'm gonna a little snack there. Put this on the stove to get it out of the way for a minute. Over on our stove cam, we have our tea that's steeping here. This is a slow steep chai tea. You can see it starting to get brown. Get that nice color in there. How this tastes. It's getting there. It needs to steep longer. Needs to cook for a little while still. culinary powder you manufacture has egg in it. Interesting. All right. So we're gonna start off with measuring out some bread pudding. Some bread pudding base here. Our sweetener, normally I would put sugar in this. Because we're going to be doing the Nutella bread pudding, we are going to be doing this. We're going to be doing this sugar without added sugar, other than the Nutella. The Nutella will give us enough sweetener for bread pudding. I'm going to start off with 2 cups of milk, and that means we're going to need a cup of eggs. So 3 cups of liquid to start with. We're going to see how well this goes and how far it goes. The idea is to kind of soak your bread in this mixture and get it really moist, and then you know, let's go 3 cups, cup and a half actually. Again, it's a 2-to-1 ratio of milk to eggs. We're gonna get that milk in there, and then get my eggs out. And we're gonna measure out a cup and a half of eggs by volume. You can also do it by weight. For these kinds of liquids, these very watery liquids, the specific gravity is about the same, meaning that, you know, 16 ounces by volume is 16 ounces by weight. An egg is about 2 ounces in the large size eggs. So 8 ounces, 10, 12 ounces, going to be about 6 eggs. And look at that. Yeah, that's 6 eggs exactly. And that is right on the cup, roughly on the cup and a half. I'm going to go 1 egg heavy. Yeah, give us a little over the ratio, it'll be fine. Egg on the counter. Use our sanitation towel to take care of that. Before I mix the egg in, though, I do want to try dissolving some of this Nutella in the milk. I do have this kind of room temperature liquidy, nice big. That's going to be about half a cup of Nutella. We're going to go about 3/4 of a cup of Nutella. This is also going to add to our liquid volume, guys, for our recipe here. Let's get a whole bunch of Nutella in there. Could also put this in the blender, but we're going to do this by hand. That's going to mix in just nice. Sorry. If you don't have milk, you can absolutely use half and half. It's going to be a really rich bread pudding. Kind of a little fattier. I prefer milk personally, but yes. And then this, look at that. Got a nice dark color already, guys. Troy, thank you for giving Cream Delicious a sub there. Taste this, make sure it's got enough Nutella flavor in it. I'm just grabbing all my small spoons out of most of my small spoons out of my drawer. I need to go buy some plastic spoons just for tasting stuff, but here's my little spoon caddy here for tasting things. Oh, that's nice and sweet. A little overly sweet to my taste, but that's okay. Once it's combined with the bread and that'll spread out the sweetness. So that's really good. We're gonna get our eggs in here. Get our custard blended up. You want this really well mixed, guys. Over on the stove, real quick, our chai is boiling a little bit. Yeah, that, and it's got this nice color. And if I'd been thinking about it, I would have made a chai bread pudding, but because that could also be really good. I'm going to go ahead and skim this out. Now this is going to be a very strong tea. Bring this back over to my prep area here. All my spoons. Let me think on that one, Nee. I'm not sure just yet. I have a couple options for doing that if I do want to do that. But so we're gonna scoop out and press out these tea bags here, get all that excess flavor out. I like pressing my tea bags. Some people tell you not to do it. Whatever. Do what makes you happy, right? Right. Whoops. Go right back in there. Here, hand these a little bit. That's hot as hell. Well, this is Indian style chai, and we're gonna dump a bunch of sugar in here. You don't want honey or do I want sugar? Let me try it with honey today. I usually do this with sugar. We're gonna use honey. Chai should be fairly milky, fairly sweet. Drop a whole bunch of honey in here. Should be enough. My little baby whisk here and get that put in. Whisk up a little bit, gets a little frothy. Pour it into my I Love You More mug that I've got here. This is one of my Love's collected mugs. Joy collects mugs a lot. Try and do this without getting it everywhere. And look at that, just enough. Only dripped a little bit. This is a really strong, for me, this is a really strong cup of tea, guys. Just to keep that in mind. That there's black tea in here. There are spices. Sweetener. But there's 5 tea bags in this cup, so it's gonna be. I don't make this at night. Oh yeah, lots of spices, cinnamon, clove. Really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Back to our custard. We're whisking in our eggs. We want to whisk this really, really well. Give us a nice thickness here. That sweetness from the Nutella. Okay. Bring our bread back over. I'm gonna throw a glove on if I can remember where I put my gloves. There they are. I like mixing this by hand, guys. I like mixing this by hand because it gives you a little bit better spread of the ingredients. Put that in the sink. We're gonna get our, make sure, you're gonna see that this kind of deflates as the custard goes in. Mix this around. You want to try and get all of that liquid absorbed pretty evenly. So we're mixing this around. Now you can kind of go two ways with bread pudding. You can kind of go for a drier bread pudding or a kind of a thicker bread pudding. I'm going to go for a drier one today. So it's a little more cakey. Okay, you can see that it's kind of crumbled down. It went from being about up here to down here. And now you can bake this in a water bath or you can bake it straight. We're going to bake it straight. No water bath for the custard in this one because, again, this is kind of a drier bread pudding. Really nice, compacted. Okay. Milk, put it to the side for a minute. Let's pull out. I have a baking dish. A 9 by 13 baking dish here. We're going to spray this with a nice pan spray. I'm actually going to take this glove off for a second. I'm going to use my neutral oil pan spray, not my olive oil pan spray. I don't want that olive oil flavor in there. Get it really well coated, guys. Alrighty. Throw another glove on. Then we're going to pack this in there. We're going to pack this in there real nice and tight. Ooh, broke my glove. Try again. I like it both ways. I'm weird like that. I'll eat bread pudding either way, warm or cold. Warm bread pudding is really nice with the sauce on it. Sir, you know. Obviously, we'll be tasting this one warm today. So as you can see, guys, I am kind of scooping it out of the bowl and just packing it into the pan here. Nice spicy baby. Great. Almost done. Okay. There's our bread pudding ready to go. We're going to cover this with tin foil, and then we are going to get it into the oven, our preheated 350-degree oven. Covering this in tin foil is going to help keep the moisture in for a while. We will uncover it near the end. We're going to bake this for about 30-40 minutes to start. we'll come check it out. Once that's in the oven, we are going to go ahead and clean up. Take my knife over here, rinse that down, rinse down my bowl. Bear with me a second here, guys. Bread pudding, nicely enough, is one of those dishes that comes together fairly quickly. I mean, again, that was something I was explaining it to you guys, so that took about 20-25 minutes. But you can really throw that together in about 10 to 15 if you have a little bit of practice. Oh, I'm sorry, huh? Happy Monday. All right. Now I'm hungry. I haven't had breakfast yet, so we're gonna make eggless French toast next. This is a recipe came up with from my. You'll have to tell me about that later. This is a recipe come up with our friend Nightwing, and she proposed it to me, and I really agreed that this would be a great one for the recipe. So we're gonna your bread pudding. Why are we Suzanne's? Anyway, this is another form of custard, typically. Gotcha. And custards are typically milk, eggs, and some kind of other thing. We're going to use cornstarch today in place of our eggs. This is going to do a few different things, and we'll talk about it as we go. I'm going to get out my ingredients here. So I'm going to need cornstarch. I'm going to need a sweetener of some kind. I need milk. For this, I'm going to go ahead and use some brown sugar, because I like the molasses flavor of brown sugar. We need some vanilla. Cinnamon. And a secret ingredient that I like putting into my breaking everything. Not so secret anymore. Breaking everything. Give me 1 second, guys. Suboptimal, as usual. My friends, I broke our pretty butter dish. Not our regular one, of course. Not our plastic one, which wouldn't break, but I dropped the good one. Recenter. Thank you, Jersey Joe's, yes. Victory screech. Accidents happen. Alright, and my secret ingredient that I love for French toast, no longer so secret, is brain. Orange peel. I like orange zest in my French toast. I think it gives some really great depth and flavor. I'm looking for my zester here, guys, because I think it got put away somewhere. I did not put it. It's alright, we'll figure it out. Suboptimal cooking show, where things are suboptimal. Getting a pan on the stove, getting that to medium heat, because this is only going to take a minute to get together. Okay. Lucky for me, the butter itself landed up, so I still have butter to use. The butter dish landed this way. The lid crashed and burned separately, so we're okay. So, silver linings. 2 cups of milk to start. Going in the bowl. We're going to use our tablespoon measure. I can find my tablespoon measure because, you know, I'm suboptimal. Now I found it. 2 tablespoons of light brown sugar, because I like the flavor of brown sugar. 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Now what the cornstarch is going to do is it's going to do 2 things. It's going to give us, with the sugar in there, it's going to give us our browning, it's going to give us our thickness and our crunch. Because that cornstarch, when it cooks, is going to gelatinize. The starch itself is going to mix in, and then the starch will gelatinize and it's going to absorb some of the liquid from the milk, and it becomes a bit of a thickening agent. And then as that cooks off, that starch will crisp up and caramelize and give you that nice starchy layer on there. Touch of pure vanilla. Vanilla is another thing that luckily has come down in price. You can buy a solid bottle of pure vanilla extract on at Costco for about $16, and that bottle will last you, a couple of years, depending on how much you're doing your baking. Sprinkles of cinnamon, just again for flavor. I like a lot of cinnamon in mine. And then we're gonna grab our, what do we want to use here? We'll grab our box grater. I don't know where. 1 second here, guys. I'm looking. Oh, it's right here. So one of those essential kitchen tools that I recommend everybody get for the kitchen at some point is some sort of a microplane or micro grater. These are great for nutmeg. These are great for zesting fruits. And you want a nice sharp one. If it's not an official microplane, you can get them. Pretty much every grocery store carries these now. They used to be only available at places like Williams-Sonoma a number of years ago, but that's going by the wayside. So we're just running our orange here just over that, tapping the zest in. You gotta get a good grip on your orange, which I keep not having as you're processing the zest. Much of it, you don't want to get the white part, the white pith. You just want that nice skin, just a nice zesty skin. If you don't have a zester, you can either leave this out, you can use a grater, you can drop your orange into your mix, it's fine. Okay, that should be enough zest. Come on the back side of it, wipe it down, flick it in. Wash off your zester right away, guys. Let that dry before you put it back in its case if it has one. We're going to whisk that up a little bit more. Put this to the side. We're going to grab our challah. That lovely, lovely egg bread we made on Friday. VOD will be up later today of that disaster. And then we're going to cut some nice thick slices. You want your slice about 1 inch to 1.5 inches thick when doing challah French toast. This stuff is really, really dense. It can absorb a good amount of liquid and give you some great, great French toast. Nice even slices. Make a whole bunch of this. Because again, I haven't had breakfast yet. Joy has not had breakfast yet, so we're gonna make our love some food here. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and put the milk away now. Well, no, I'm gonna leave the milk out because we're gonna need it for the next few. Ha-ha! Thinking ahead. All right. Take a small plate, put our bread on the plate, carry everything over to the stove. Now you can use pan spray for this, you can use margarine. I like butter. We're gonna throw some butter on in our pan, see how it sizzles. This will also tell us how hot the pan is. Pan is sizzling a little bit. Oh, it's going good. That's good. Cook this pan really nicely with butter. Cut a little thin. Let's go. Thank you for the follow, Matt. 30, 50, 55. All right, we're gonna go in with our our soaked bread right into that nice brown butter. Gonna get a lot of nice audio here. Got sizzle, guys. So bear with me if you can't hear me very well. You can see right here where the cornstarch is crisping up on it, if you want to see. Put that last small piece in here. And that sugar and crispness, all that stuff is going to come from your all that crispness is going to come from your cornstarch and the browning is going to come from your sugar that we put in there. Smells heavenly. Smells like butter and orange and cinnamon. I got that on that medium-low heat. So we don't want it to cook too quickly. Want it to suck in and soak in. I flipped it too early. I just wanted to check on it. We're going to turn the heat up just a little bit, actually. Got about a medium high now. All of our music, my friend, comes from our friend of the channel, Ruby Spitfire. She makes music you can find on Spotify that is royalty free for use in streams. That's Ruby Spitfire. Oh yeah. You can see I got to let go a little bit too long on that piece. It's okay. Suboptimal, but okay. I'm going to go ahead and start soaking our next couple pieces of bread here. I want to see if we can get these a little bit softer. I'm going to pre-soak these just a little bit more. This is not absorbing quite as much of the liquid as I thought it was going to initially. I'm going to soak those. Get a nice big plate to take them out on. Oh yeah, that's some good stuff right there. So, normally with the leftover mixture, you're right, Kitty, I would love to make scrambled eggs. This is not a mixture you can do that with because, again, this is the eggless, this is our eggless French toast. It's out of there. A little bit of smoke coming off here. I'm going to get our vent on low. We don't set off the fire alarms in here. Whew. Cool that down a little bit. Down a little bit more. Get a nice another knob of butter in there. Nice soaked French challah. What is blue syrup, Dale? I've never heard of blue syrup. Blue dye in it, but it's syrup. Oh, okay. There we go. That's a little bit more what I'm looking for now that I got this control a little bit more golden brown on there. A little bit more soaked in here. That's a little bit better. Second batch. Colored foods are definitely kids' stuff, yeah. Grab a sip of my chai. Get me nice caffeinated for the day ahead. Clean as you go, guys. Wipe down the cutting board. Speaking of clean as you go, I did not clean as I went as well as I would normally on Friday. So, you know, I try and keep a nice clean kitchen for you guys to see. I will say that I was scrambling a little bit before started streaming today to get everything cleaned and looking good, but that's our suboptimal life. Some days you just can't clean as well as you'd like, you know? Shift these around a little bit. We had a very busy weekend. Night. Thank you for gifting a. Don't mute that. Don't mute those ads. We're gonna go on ad break in just here a second, guys. We're gonna take our break as soon as these are done, which they are looking pretty done to me. We're gonna pull our French toast off here. Big pile of it right here, guys. And here we have our French toast, our eggless French toast. Really, really nice looking. More stuff you can use your Blackstone for? Heck yeah. Blackstones are awesome. They are very expensive though, and so we're gonna plate up our French toast here. I'm actually going to get some of the... one other thing that we made the other day, guys, were those fruit preserves. They did not thicken up as much as I had hoped they would. So we can either re-cook them down or do some more packed dinner stuff. But I'm going to put a little bit of the berry preserves we made on my French toast here. It's still nice and thick, it's just not quite a jelly. Great, good stuff though. Whoop. Not drop that. And then a little powdered sugar on top. There you have it, guys. Eggless French toast with our berry syrup, berry compote. With that being said, guys, it is ad break time, so get up, stretch, hydrate, get some coffee, do your thing. We will see you back here in 3 to 5 minutes. Don't worry, the Suboptimal Cooking Show will be back. We are back, guys. I'm still munching on my berry French toast here, which is really, really good. Yeah, that's excellent. That's really hitting the spot. Like I said, you'll excuse me, guys. I did not get breakfast this morning. This is my breakfast. Yeah, the tart berry really works well. The orange comes through along with that berry flavor, giving a really nice fruit flavor in general. It's really tasty. Okay, what are we working on next? Kicked up mac and cheese. Kicked up mac and cheese. We'll make this and stash it for later, really. So when you're kicking up your mac and cheese, it's really about... no, we're not going to do a roux, interestingly. We are going to utilize the thickening power of... I have it on the counter there. I don't know that I'm going to necessarily do anything with it besides eat it later. They're perfectly fine to eat. You can stash them in the fridge once you've zested them. But we're not going to be using a roux, guys. We're going to be using the thickening power of the orange packets, or the cheese packet. So let's get this water going on high. Let's get our mac and cheese out. Let's see. Got a bunch of different kinds here. We're going to mix 2 different varieties here. So I've got Great Value with Walmart brand thick and creamy mac and cheese, and I have the Great Value shells and cheese. Shells and 3 cheese. Put that aside. I'm going to just pop these open. So the great thing about these guys is these have thickening agents in them to give you that powder, and we can utilize that we can utilize that thickening agent instead of using a roux, maybe with a little extra milk and with our grated cheese. So I'm going to use a combination here. We're going to use some of that shredded sharp cheddar that we've been using. I have some block Colby Jack and some block mozzarella right here. Now, fairly standard is you use about a quarter cup of milk and about 2 to 4 tablespoons of butter. And suboptimally, I just realized I may be out of butter. Oh, no, I got butter. I got another pound of butter. Cool. It's frozen, but I have butter. You put butter on our list, though, because the rest of my butter to stay out and get warm. I'm actually going to move this to the back burner here. We are going to get our saute pan out. Get that on medium-low heat. Get our box grater out and start shredding cheese. Oh, you know what I forgot to do after I eat? After I wash my hands. Always wash your hands between tasks here, guys. Especially if you're eating and putting things near your mouth, you always want to wash your hands. Keep a nice clean kitchen, keep a nice sanitary kitchen. Okay. So we're going to grate some of this cheese down just like we did for other things. I don't remember what else we grated cheese for in it was first or second day. Oh, we made cheese sauce at one point. Mozzarella it's kind of hard to grate. It's a little soft, but it'll go okay. I'd love a rotary grater at some point, but that would be optimal. We're suboptimal here. Always make sure you don't grate your fingers. Do I have a jackhammer in the background? See if that helps. Did that help out? Let me know if the sound is okay, guys. Okay. Yeah, that was just my vent was going because I smoked things up a little bit. When grating your cheese, you want to change the angle you're approaching the grater at, so you get all the grating done evenly. I'm gonna grate about half of this block. We got about half a block, about 4 ounces of mozzarella, 4 ounces of Colby Jack here. So I'm going to go a little heavy on the milk, a little heavier on the milk than I normally would. If you were just making the box by itself. So I'm going to go for a full cup of milk here. Going into the pan. That's going to heat up pretty quickly. We're going to go for about 6 tablespoons of butter, which is the better part of a stick. Come on, you. Get all that paper off. Frozen butter. Be a little hard to get this paper off of now and then. There we go. There we go. Into the pan. We're going to let that heat up and melt. Grab our wash off our whisk real quick that we were using earlier for our Nutella cornbread, or not Nutella cornbread, Nutella bread pudding, I should say. Speaking of, let's give that a check because that's been about half hour. Carefully lift your foil here. That is looking pretty good. I'm going to pull the foil off here, guys. It has puffed up a bit. It's feeling kind of solid. We're going to let that go in and finish cooking up and browning. Now, this recipe that I'm doing for the mac and cheese is for 2 boxes of mac and cheese. So we're going to make a decent amount here. Get our 2 packets of cheese mix opened up. Take our whisk and get that butter mixed into the milk mixture so it melts. And again, guys, no roux needed for this because we're using that box mac and cheese. Everything's going to thicken up with that sauce, with that cheese sauce mixture, I should say. Okay. Now, even if you're just making box mac and cheese, guys, I always recommend. Some of the Kraft mac and cheese does not say to do this, I don't believe, but I always cook my butter and milk together first, add the cheese mix, and then add the noodles back in. Some people just drain it in the pot and dump the milk and butter and mix in and then just mix from there. I find that Leads to a subpar mac and cheese, powdery, clumpy, not as good. Cheese mix going in. And whisk, and whisk and whisk and whisk. So we're gonna let this warm up. We're gonna whisk this in, get our clumpies out. You can see it starts thickening up pretty much right away. There is an active food starch in this that they use. Lower the heat so we're not burning it and scorching it on the bottom. Okay, and let's start getting our cheese in. Pretty much immediately. I don't know if I'm actually going to use that sharp cheddar here, guys, because this is still like 8 ounces of cheese that we're adding to it already. Take it on and off the heat while we're mixing this in. And you can use any kind of cheese you like Swiss cheese, cheddar cheese. I like Colby Jack. The mozzarella is going to add a nice stringiness to it. But that thickened cheese sauce is already going to give us our base texture. Pasta water's going. See that's nice and thickened up. We're going to add a little bit more milk to this. As we dump our pasta into our water. Loosen this up a little bit because it is pretty thick. A wooden spoon, mix our pasta around so it doesn't clump together. Nice thing about a lot of this box mac and cheese pasta is it is pretty small pasta, so it does cook fairly quick, especially if you got little ones in the house. And it seems pretty brainless, guys, and it is. This is not, once again, here on this Suboptimal Cooking Show, this is not overthinking our food. It's just taking what we've got, what's cheap, what's available, and making it better. Now, for my sake, there's not quite enough flavor in here, so I'm going to add a couple ingredients to make this a little nice. I have Cholula hot sauce right here. A little bit of Cholula gives a little bit of spice and depth of flavor. I like spice. Spice is the spice of life, I could say. You'll notice I did adjust my camera here so that you guys aren't getting blocked every time I go to reach into the cabinet. I'm going to add some white pepper as well. This is just a fine ground white pepper. Pasta down. A little bit of white pepper for flavor. Just a little sprinkling. And you can see with that milk in there, that cheese sauce has become nice and creamy and runny. It's not sticking the way it was earlier now that it's processed a little bit and it's cooked into each other a little bit all together. You can absolutely use black pepper. You're going to want to use a fine ground black pepper. Part of the reason I use white pepper, the amount of salt that you would have to put in to help with the rising water is a significant amount, so I don't like putting that much salt into my water. I just like turning, just once the water starts boiling up to a certain point, you can turn it down. It'll still cook the pasta perfectly well. You just gotta turn it down a little bit. Let this all process together here, guys, while our our ancient cat comes and munches cheese off of the floor. Okay. I'm gonna start pulling out the ingredients for our last dish. Got that cheese sauce staying warm on a low heat while the pasta cooks. You're just gonna hear me mumbling to myself and rattling around a little bit, guys, while I'm searching for things. Just bear with me. Here we go. Now else. Milk away. Cheese sauce, one more stir. Pasta should be just about finished. Pasta's done. Turn the heat off on that one. Grab our pasta, bring it over to the stove or the sink rather, and drain it out. Okay. Cheese off, wring down. You can see here, guys, that sauce is nice and runny, nice and thick. Scrape all that goodness right into the pot. And a fun fact, on Amazon, you can actually buy the powdered cheese sauce in bulk. So you can actually make this with your own pasta and powdered cheese sauce and use that as a base for your mac and cheese. Perfectly viable option. Look at that. Nice gooey mac and cheese. You want to even take this a step further. You can put this in a pan, throw it in the oven with some breadcrumbs and some seasoned breadcrumbs on top. Get a nice baked mac and cheese. I'm not going to bother doing that today, but that is an option. Again, here you go, guys. Our kicked up mac and cheese may not look that different, but let me tell you, this is worlds apart from what your just plain box mac and cheese is. Let's give it a taste. Beautifully creamy. Got nice additional depth of flavor from that white pepper and the Cholula hot sauce we put in there. Those cheeses really come through and give it a lot more pop. So
drink water.
Thank you for that drink water, my friend. Where's my water? But there it is, guys. Kicked up box mac and cheese. Simple way you can take just a common 79-cent product, take a little bit more money into it, and make it something really exceptional. Trust me, guys, you will blow your kids away with this if you're a parent and you make this mac and cheese. It's going to be so much creamier, so much cheesier. They're going to love it. Put that on the stove back here. All right. Next up is our chicken soup. And we're going to start by breaking down our chicken and getting a bunch of the bones. Put that aside. I'm going to get a pair of gloves here. Wipe down. Okay. Personally, I don't love the feel of chicken. It just texturally bothers me on my hands, whether it's raw or cooked. But what we're going to be doing here, and the reason this is going to be our kitchen sink. Again, this is just using whatever vegetables I had in the fridge. I've got some broccoli stems, some celery, some carrots, and I do believe I have an onion over here somewhere. Do I have an onion? I do have an onion. There's an onion. You can put edamame in here. You can put all kinds of stuff. Actually, you know what would be really good? Since I don't have any noodles right now to do chicken noodle soup, we're gonna do barley. We're gonna do a little chicken barley soup here. And, maybe not, because that takes about a while. But an option is to throw some barley into this. We may throw some in near the end and then just let that sit and soak up some of the liquid. We'll see. Make a decision on that later. But our rotisserie chicken, these guys are this is your Costco rotisserie chicken that's been sitting in our fridge for a few days. Things are about $5.99, $6.99. And I'm going to scrape off this gelatin here that's kind of congealed on it, and I'm going to put that right into our pot. Because that is gold, my friends. That is liquid gold. Get inside the bag. There's a little bit more of it. That gelatin is pure flavor, and that is pure thickness for your delicious thickness for your soup, right? So that's going to go right in the pot. White pepper is a pepper varietal. They are white pepper seeds, and they're literally white, and it's ground up. It's got a little bit more intense spice flavor to it. It can be a little bit more heated than black pepper. You want to use it very sparingly, but it also does not add a lot of color to your dish. So it's a great way if you have kids that are like, I don't like spice, I don't like it. You can start sneaking a little white pepper into their dishes and get their tolerance build up so they really start to develop taste for flavor. I've had to do that with Little Chef a bit. And if Little Chef, if you're watching this, no, I never did that. Junior Chef now, not even Little Chef, my God. So we are just breaking apart this chicken, just taking off the string there. And we just want to take the skin off. All that skin is flavor and it's going to give us gelatinousness, excuse me. And this is going to be a simple soup, a quick soup. So we are going to cheat. We're going to take our bones, we're going to take our skin. That's all going in the pot for right now. Over on the stove. Using your hands and a knife, I'm going to grab a paring knife here and just come to the side of the breastbone, cut, and pull, and twist my knife to kind of dislodge the meat. and work my way down the ribs. Wishbone right in the middle here, just working around that. All this meat we're going to put to the side. We're going to keep all this meat for a little bit later. What we're after right now is really the bones, the carcass, if you will, of the bird. All this meat is good stuff. We're saving that for later. We can save that. We can make chicken salad out of it. We can use it in the soup. But I want to separate out my meat from my bones. There be monsters, welcome. Should make some haggis. I've never made haggis in my life. That might be something worth trying at some point. That is, I don't know if that's necessarily a suboptimal dish, because although it does use a lot of different kind of stuff. But welcome in. That's awesome. That's a good idea. I'll have to look into that. So stripping the meat off of the chicken carcass, putting that aside. Now, why are we using the chicken carcass? There is a lot of good flavor right here on this. All the skin, all the fat. We want all that. And we also want any gelatin that's still left in these bones as we go to bring it into the soup. The meat coming off. Little pieces of meat, we can just scrape everything off, and we take the carcass, put it right in the pot. And break it up a little bit. Our chicken, what is this, chicken wing here, make sure we get all the meat off the wings. Again, we're trying to break this down, guys, to meat versus. Yeah, we're gonna make a chicken broth, almost a stock, not quite a stock, but it's gonna be a cheater stock. It's just gonna be a cheater's broth, because we're gonna do this in about 15-20 minutes. Now, why do I call it cheater stock? Well, we're using a rotisserie chicken to start. For one. Part number two is, I gotta grab it still, but we are gonna use a pre-done chicken stock. You can use chicken stock, you can use bouillon, but basically a ready-to-go stock that we are going to enhance in flavor to give us a quick start, because again, this is gonna be a quick chicken soup. So I'm gonna get this going. We still need to break some of this down. I got a quart of fat-free chicken broth. Yep, you're right. A proper one does take 5 to 10 hours, but we are doing a quick soup. This is the suboptimal cooking stream, there, me monsters. We are all about doing things in a suboptimal world. So we take shortcuts, we use prepared products, and we make our lives easier, and for those of us who don't necessarily have time to spend 5 hours waiting for chicken stock. I'm gonna add some water to this, guys. So this is what it looks like right now. Get that on the stove on a high heat. You can call it heresy if you want. Most of my instructors would probably call it heresy. But then I don't think the instructors the Culinary Institute of America have worked in suboptimal conditions in a long time. So. And why is that? Why is that, there be monsters? Why would you say that? If you don't have the kind of money for food, you're telling me that you shouldn't be able to take shortcuts and make your life easier? Yeah, it's a good looking chicken. That's your Costco chickens for you. They're pretty solid. Ah, but that's where you're wrong, my friend. Cooking is expensive these days. Vegetables are not cheap. Good food is not cheap. The equipment is not cheap. You're right that it can be an art. Absolutely. But not everybody has the ability to treat it like the art that a lot of us wish we could. How much is a dozen eggs right now for you, there be monsters, out of curiosity? Dozen eggs, 12 eggs. I'm going to wash my sauté pans, guys, because we're going to get some stuff. $6.97. You don't think that's expensive? I'd love to know what you make on a daily basis. Considering the eggs 3 months ago were $2.50, they've gone up almost 3 times that. What do you honestly? Because they're about $6.95 here, yeah. Where are you located, there be monsters? I'm assuming you're not an American, based on redoing the calculations here. Norway. Okay. I will politely say that you guys have it better than us. Here in America, the median income, an average, well, let's put it this way. Let me rephrase that. Minimum wage in the U.S., monsters, is, correct me if I'm wrong, my love, $7.50 an hour nationally? Is that right? $7.25? I forget what the actual. But Joy, what's the minimum wage right now? What's national minimum wage? Okay. In different states, it does go differently. But our national minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. Meaning that a dozen eggs is 50 minutes of work. Is that $18 US? So, well, your beer is a lot more expensive than our beer here, I will say, depending on how good the beer is. But food here is very expensive. And so, 50 minutes of a week's work for 1 dozen eggs, that's a lot. And we have food pantries for people who can't get enough, which are looking to get shut down by the administration. And I don't know. Again, I can't speak to Norway monsters. I just know that here in the U.S., things are getting harder and harder. Okay. Can I, not to get political, monsters, do you have national health care? I forget if Norway has national health care. I believe they do. Yes. We don't. That's a big thing. So, it may not... It's one of those things where it may not seem like it, but food is becoming problematic. Living is becoming problematic here in the U.S. You wouldn't know it from looking at the highest livers, the highest things, but the discrepancy is bad. So I wish I could just go with you and say that food should just be an art and everybody can afford food, but that's not the case here. I will fully admit that my fiance and I have struggled. And in the US, it's a lot cheaper to buy pre-made sodium stuff. No, monsters. We're jealous of Norway in a lot of respects, honestly. The prices on houses are difficult. My mortgage is a 30-year mortgage. I have a house, but I'm lucky to have a house. I got it when rates were really, really low. It's a struggle every day. We don't roll in money at all. It's my fiance, Joyful Noise, right there, does make good money. I'm on a leave of absence from my job for mental health reasons, which I don't know. That's something I don't, I can talk about it. And I am dicing up the celery here, guys. We're going to saute our vegetables really quickly, pull some flavor out of those before they go in the soup. That's a good loan. I mean, that's good for you, monsters, but you'd be amazed at how hard it is here in the US. I mean, you may think we're rolling in money and luxuries and all of that, but we're not. For a lot of us here, every day is a struggle. So, and I'm not trying to dismiss you, I'm not trying to invalidate, but your views are valid. They're just very different than what our realities are. And believe me, if I can make optimal food all the time, if I could spend 5 hours making a chicken stock out of good bones and not take shortcuts and not do that stuff, I would. And I would do it for everybody, and I wish everybody could. But a lot of us struggle, and a lot of us are here, and this is why I've created this show. This is why I've created the Suboptimal Cooking Show, to show people that you can make exceptional food even in our suboptimal living experience, in our suboptimal conditions these days. So I hope you stick around. I really appreciate your insight. No, most of the jobs that are... I've never made $70,000 in my life a year, monsters. Most cooks, the average income is around $40,000 if you're lucky. Until I became a sous chef, I was making $25,000 to $30,000 a year. So it's a lot less than you think it is. And again, not trying to dismiss your feelings. I'm not trying to dismiss your experiences. I'm just saying that our realities are a little different than what you think. Count yourself lucky. Nurses are RE nurses. Is that when you say RE nurses? Is that like emergency room nurses? Registered nurses, okay. Yeah, nurses can make decent money here, but they're even $70,000 is a lot for a nurse. Nurses are underpaid. Everybody's underpaid, but nurses are very underpaid. Cutting up our broccoli stems here, guys. We're all going to get all these vegetables in. Nothing goes to waste. My dog loves broccoli stems, actually. It's pretty funny. There's always a sacrifice, guys. You know, yeah, you're making good money, but you got to work overnights, or you got to work with unhappy people. The health industry in the U.S. you have to understand that it's a for-profit business here. You know, we don't always get to do the surgeries and the stuff that would take care of us as much as we would like it to. Again, but that's a traveling nurse position. That's a very specialized position. I'm not denying that those jobs exist. I'm just saying that is not the norm here. A little bit of this oil. Take all of our broccoli and celery and get it into the pan. Yeah. Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know how it is in Norway, but, I mean, you have to understand the U.S. is so big that we even change, like, the same position won't pay the same if you move to a different place, even though you're doing the same work. When Joyful moved from Georgia to here, she took if you don't mind my saying so, my love, she took a $10,000 a year pay cut to come here and live with me. That's a lot of money. That's nothing to sneeze at. Get our stove cam up. But, you know, it's... Yeah. The extreme couponing thing is it's an exception, not a rule. They, you know, a lot of those were like double coupons. When people, they stopped doing that. They stopped doubling coupons. They stopped doubling stuff. They stopped doing a lot of that because of these extreme couponers. And that takes effort. The other thing, yeah, and it takes a lot of time to be able to do that kind of saving. Like that's a job in and of itself. Let's check on our bread pudding real quick here, guys. This has been closer to an hour. Oh, that is done though. That is gorgeous. I'm pushing on this, and I feel it's nice and firm. Yeah. Now, in the U.S., there's a lot of poverty here. You wouldn't know it because of how the world views us and what they like to show and the TV shows and stuff, but there's a lot of poverty here. There's a lot of hardship here. Most of us, the majority of us, are struggling. So, don't trust everything you see on TV, my friend. Okay. We got our celery and our broccoli stems here. We're getting these sauteed so they're nice and soft, and then they're going to go into our pot where we're going to assemble the stock and everything. Carefully move this to the back. Low heat, low heat. Thank you. Low heat, thank you. We're gonna do our carrots and an onion in here. I can't, monsters. We don't have gas in this house. I wish I could change that. Yes, you're absolutely right. Gas stove is porn in cooking terms. I wish I could have a gas stove. We can't. There's no way to run the gas to run a gas line.
I am just popping in to say hello to chat, and monsters, I am loving having you here. It is wonderful. Getting the gas ran into our kitchen would be at least $10,000 to $20,000,
if not more.
If not
that
more.
Onion is toast.
Oh,
We're not going to be using that onion. That onion is toasted.
That'll be okay. And so it's, but even just to get the gas into the stove, not to mention the stove by itself would be $2,000 or $3,000. And not only that, in order to do that, I mean, that would be
$20,000 or $30,000.
$20,000 or $30,000, yeah, and that's just not money that I have.
That we have. It's not
that we have sitting around to do that sort of thing when there are other, home improvements on our list, or even just making sure there's food on the table for our 10-year-old. You kind of start making priorities, and unfortunately, some of those priorities become, working with what you got. And that unfortunately is and we're lucky. We are the lucky ones. We have a lot of friends that live in food insecurity. I have my best friend who lives in housing insecurity in a lot of ways. And so it's really just, figuring out where your money goes. Like I said, I make good money. I don't mind being the one to expose that. I make close to $90,000 a year. And we're still paycheck to paycheck in a lot of ways. even in a place like this where I'm at with a boss who supports me and allows me to my apologies, monsters. I talk very fast. That is just me. I will slow down a little bit. I do have to go. I'm getting ready to get our car looked at. But all of that to say, I am very glad you're here because you bring a different perspective than what we may have in the US. And even if things are better in Norway for food, these are also tips that you can take home to stretch your money even further as well. Because even if, you know, money is great and food is cheap, wealth does not happen because you're being frivolous with money.
Yeah.
My apologies. I will slow down when I'm around. All right, honey, I am going to the dealership.
Love you.
Love you. Love you, chat. I will see you all in a little bit when I get settled. I am not taking 4 o'clock.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
No, I changed my mind.
Okay. So oh, you can see we're potato dumplings? Yeah, I've made potato dumplings before. I'm just smashing up some garlic here, guys. Go in my pan, into my soup. Okay, I'm going to saute up some of these carrots here. Just throw things on the floor, chef, that's fine. Take my gloves off. Did you just say, but you're getting hungry again? That's good. Well, I don't know if that's good, but I'm glad I'm able to make you hungry. Okay. So we're gonna get the carrots in, get the garlic in. Okay, coming back to our chicken here. We're gonna take most of this. I'm gonna keep the breasts to the side. I'm gonna make some chicken salad out of that later, maybe tomorrow. We'll do that on stream. We got all of our dark meat here that we're just gonna kind of dice up to go into the soup. And guys, I am going to go to video break when we get back. Yeah, Texan brisket, Texan barbecue is always good. When we get back, guys, we will continue on our journey with our quick soup here. 3 to 5 minutes, guys. Stretch, get some water, hydrate. Suboptimal Cooking Show. We'll be back. Welcome back, everybody. Suboptimal Cooking Show. Today we are doing our quick kitchen sink chicken soup, where we're just throwing a lot of vegetables in. Let's get back to it. While we were gone, I put the carrots and the garlic into the pan, turned the pan on it, and got it on the stove. Got it on the heat here, so we're still kind of sauteing up all the vegetables in here, getting them softened up before we get the chicken liquid in. Our chicken broth is going. Most of Norwegian food is cheap food. Yeah, I can see that. A lot of countries have a history of cheap food. Let me grab a spoon here. I want to taste our broth. So our broth is cooking down. You can see it's got some intense color here. Really, really nice kind of brown, golden brown color on that soup. That's got some great roasted flavor to it. Really, really chickeny, which is, I know it's silly thing to say, but it does have an intense chicken flavor to it. We're going to get our chunked up chicken into the pot. I'm going to grab the hot pot with my towel here. That's a heavy pot. Let's get everything put into the pot. Well, we're not making, it is a bit small. We are, but again, we are making kind of an intense broth here. One that can be thinned down a little bit. If I need to, that's why I'm using a small pot. Again, this is our bones, leftover meat. It's instant, it's not instant, but it's boxed chicken stock that's ready to go. And so we're just kind of intensifying flavor. We're not necessarily making the finest chicken broth or chicken stock on the planet here. This is going to be a very hearty, thick, or not thick soup, but a chunky soup. We got plenty of vegetables, a lot of stuff that's going in. So that is a 16 quart pot. That's roughly a 5 gallon pot. This is a 1 gallon pot here, and this is about 1.5 gallon pot. So again, I'm not making huge amounts here. This is not, I'm not making it to last for a lot. Like if I was making a big batch of soup, come here you. I do have a stock pot that is considerably bigger. Right, and I do the same. But again, we're not making a stock for freezing. This is a quick soup. We're going from this broth to finished product very quickly. So I want to get a little water. I want to get some water into the pot. We're going to extract vegetable flavoring and stuff. Now normally I would salt all of this as we go. Because this is a cooked chicken and it's already been seasoned. I don't want to salt anything until we get this broth in here. Where do I live? I'm in the Midwest of the United States, area called Kansas. We're gonna get out a little bit of our salt here for later. So there's our salt. I need got garlic in here. I'm gonna get a little bit more garlic powder in here to just intensify that garlic flavor. I like a lot of garlic in my soup, in my chicken soup. If you don't like garlic, that's fine. Don't use it. And then my go-to ingredient for my chicken soups, and I learned this a long time ago, that really, really enhances the flavor of chicken soup, is dill. So just some dry dill. You can use fresh if you have it. Again, suboptimal. The dry stuff is just as flavorful and intense. We're gonna put about a tablespoon of dill, maybe a little bit more, into the mix, because that dill gives us some great flavor. Can never, yeah. I grew up near the sea. Some cayenne, maybe. Gonna mix this around a little bit. Let me see if I can find my cayenne. I couldn't find my cayenne the other day, unfortunately. Paprika, nutmeg. I really need to reorganize my spice cabinet. It's the one thing I kind of really indulge on is my spices. Because I like spices. Oh, haha! Here's my cayenne. Cayenne. Yeah. Chicken demands cayenne are better. If you like spice, yes. I'll put a little cayenne in there. Salud. But that dill's gonna give you a great flavor. Habaneros, very nice. Yeah, I don't, unfortunately, I do not have a vegetable garden. I should grow a vegetable garden. I have not grown a vegetable garden. Yeah, it's really interesting that they look purple. The burners look purple on camera. They only show up orange to red in person, which is really interesting. We've got our strainer here. We got our chicken soup, which has been cooking for about 20 minutes or so. 15-20 minutes or so. Oh, I see. That's very cool. Very cool, monsters. All right. We're gonna take all of this and we're gonna strain out all those bones. I promise you, I know that that is not a long time for a broth, but I promise this is good stuff. Now I'm just kind of shaking it out, getting every last drop of liquid and flavor out of here. Dump these in the trash and then cover them up so the dog can't get to them, because she will inevitably try and steal bones out of there. And there you go, guys. I mean, that's not quite done. It's got to cook down. It's got to... Let's get this up to a simmer to cook those vegetables. The vegetables are... Yes. Lamb broth, lamb stock takes a while. Beef broth takes a while. let's give this a taste. How did I end up with a fork in there? Can't taste soup with a fork, can I? Let's grab actually, that's, here we go. Here's our good, tasty, plenty of chicken flavor, lots and lots of chicken flavor in there, guys. Get that good stuff. It'll get even more from the dark meat that's simmering in there. That'll break down. I do want to put a little bit more salt in here. Because it's not quite to the place I like it. We're going to put some fresh ground black pepper in. And again, I'm only putting I'm putting a lot more pepper than I did the salt, because it already was seasoned with salt. That chicken came pre-seasoned. Get that kind of mixed in. Get it for me. Still needs a little bit more salt. Still needs a bit more salt. I'm actually going to go ahead and give it some umami flavor. And I'm going to add MSG, guys. A little monosodium glutamate. Don't get mistaken. This stuff is a little salty, but gives great flavor. Just a little bit of MSG goes a long way. That was maybe a teaspoon of it, maybe not. No, probably closer to like a half teaspoon of it, and that's gonna enrich the flavor. Got some nice umami-ness to it, some nice richness, and a little bit more of the regular flaky kosher salt. Oh, that is perfect, guys. That MSG really gives it a nice smoothness. Yeah, MSG is monosodium glutamate. It is it's used in a lot of different cuisines. Primarily used you find it in naturally occurring in Chinese cuisine in soy sauce. It gives you what's called umami, which is a gentle touch. The word means a gentle touch. It gives you kind of this great mouth feel that kind of coats your tongue. You feel it all over, and it's really wonderful. But that's our quick chicken soup, guys. I'm gonna let this simmer for about another 10-15 minutes till the vegetables are done. Then it's ready to eat. I mean, again, that's a chicken soup in under an hour. That is flavorful, vegetable rich for you. You can boil noodles on the side, add noodles to it. But this is ready to go. I mean, it's done. And so with that, guys, I want to thank everybody for watching today. It's been a great stream. We made a whole bunch of stuff. Before we go, let me, let's show off our bread pudding. Taste our bread pudding. I almost forgot. It's been sitting on the counter here after we pulled it out of the oven. There you go, guys. Some nice bread pudding here. There's our bread pudding, guys. Let's clean our slicer off real quick. And we're just gonna slice straight down the way. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Just cut some slices of this. This is great with a creme anglaise, an English cream sauce, or a bourbon sauce. We're gonna just serve this up onto a plate right now. Oh. Well, I can only relate what I was taught, so I do apologize if I'm wrong. I very well could be. But there we go, guys. Look at that. Nice bread pudding. Our Nutella bread pudding with let's find the camera. So, here's that, guys. Let's give it a quick taste before we go. Make sure this isn't too sweet for us. You can see it's thick and it's congealed, which is what we want out of that custard. That is perfect. It is not overly sweet. That Nutella, that chocolate and hazelnut flavor comes through really, really well. Honestly, a Kahlua creme anglaise, coffee creme anglaise would go really, really well with this. Just gonna cover my pan here. And with that, guys, a nice sauce would go really, really nicely with this. Actually, you know what else would go really well? I know exactly what would go really well with this. Give us some acid to cut it. This is that berry sauce we made on Friday again that we used on the French toast earlier. Just a little bit of that berry sauce, that old fruit sauce that we used, all the fruit that was starting to turn in the fridge that hadn't gone bad yet, but was getting close. Nice berry sauce right on top of the chocolate and the hazelnut. That's killer. That is so killer. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 4 of the Suboptimal Cooking Show. My name is Chef Tig. You can call me Noah. Thank you guys for coming in. I hope all of you have happy, healthy days. And yeah, let's give me 1 second, guys. We're gonna look into who we can raid today. Let's see. Here, here's the spicy baby. Here's the spicy baby. Meow meow. Let's see, anybody? Oh, I know where we're going. Guys, I'm going to take you to, thank you very much. I'm going to take you over to 16-Bit Eric. He's a fantastic GM and does some incredible work with Dungeons and Dragons and different game systems. Really, really cool guy. we're going to give him a follow and show him off. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for coming in, guys. Or I could, goof that up. Have a good one, guys.